All right, so here's the part where worlds kind of collide, and bear with me because this is kind of a tough topic for me towards the end, so just hang tight. People ask me, if Shipt is so great, then why are you doing something else? Or if Lil Rose is so great, why are you still shifting? You know, and it's kind of a catch-22, and I don't really know that there's a right answer for that, but I can give you my answers and why I love both so much. I started doing Shipt 4 years ago when it was brand new in Nashville, and my shopper number is actually in the 3 digits. No, I'm not telling you my shopper number, but I absolutely love it. I love my members. I love everything about it. And there are 2 reasons why, well, there's really 3 reasons why I chose to add Lil Rose hair accessories to my repertoire, we'll call it, if that's a fancy enough word for you. First of all, you should know the backstory. If you already know this backstory, then you can fast forward a minute or 2. When I discovered Lil Rose, I was actually very frustrated because, as you can see, I have long hair. I had really short hair when I started shifting, but as my hair grew, I started having problems because I needed to put my hair up, because nobody wants all of this in their groceries and their produce, right? So I was putting my hair up, but because I was using rubber bands and claw clips and things like that, my hair was breaking and it was causing damage, and it was very frustrating. I tried lots of different things, different kinds of clips and things like that, and they either worked great but still caused damage, or they worked great but then they broke or stretched out or whatever. And of course, ladies watching that have thicker hair, you know what happens to rubber bands. They break and they stretch out very quickly when you have a lot of hair. So it was a problem, and I was frustrated with it and tired of having to buy constant rubber bands and breaking my hair. So I met this guy, he had this cool thing, and I was like, what? So go watch the other videos about the Swerve. That's my first piece of Lil Rose that I purchased, and absolutely fell in love with it, and it allowed me to put my hair up while I was shopping without breaking it. And basically, I researched the company and spent some time doing that, and looked at the products that they had available online, and I tried out one of the flexi clips that I purchased that same day that I bought the Swerve through the silent auction. Got a great deal on that, and played with that, tried it in my daughter's hair, loved it. I don't think I have that particular one. Oh, they're all banded. Sorry for the disruption, but just to show you what the flexi clip is, it's basically a replacement for a ponytail holder and a barrette, and your hair would go where my finger is and it just clips on. So these babies don't break. They also don't break my hair. So I can wear these in a ponytail or like a barrette, or like what I've got going on right now. And so I researched, sorry, trying to stay organized and keep my stuff put up. So I researched the company and basically told my husband, all right, here's the deal. I can buy a business kit, or I can drop a lot of money on hair accessories because I really love these things. So we, of course, decided to get the business kit. The initial intention was just to make it available to friends and family and let them know that I had it if they were interested. But so many of my friends and family just went nuts over it. They're like, this stuff is great. Wow, I love this. And just so many repurchases and reorders, and trying different things, reduced hair headaches, especially my Shipt shoppers have to wear their hair up all day. Wasn't pulling and tugging on their hair, and also added a little bit of pretty and a little bit of flair, if you want it, to your hair, so you're not just wearing a rubber band. Because guys, once you hit a certain age, you kind of want to look like a grown-up and not just have a rubber band. Now there's days that rubber bands are great and just a simple basic ponytail is what you want, and or a bun or whatever. But what I don't want you to do is be breaking your hair with rubber bands when you're doing that. Now some of you don't have curly hair, you have thick or thin, whatever, straight hair, and maybe the breakage is not such a problem, but it was for me, so there I am. So there are products to work with every single hair type. I'll just throw that out there. So let's get back to why we're here. basically I fell in love with the product, and because my friends and family had such an excellent response to it, I decided to just run with it, and let's just try this thing and set it up and just do it and be a business. So it's going very well. I love it. I love my team members. I love the company. The company's spirit and community is so much like Shipt, in that we all, the other stylists, we all support each other. I can get quick, clear answers from our home office. They are encouraging. They are so generous and give us things all the time. Sometimes those are incentives that are earned. Sometimes they do little fun contests for us in our stylist group, and training every single week, and access to very expensive trainings from one of our stylists who's way on up the ladder, but we get access to her trainings for free on how to, market things and do things like this. So it's really cool. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked because I love it so much. So why both? Well, if one's so great, why the other? Well, there's your number one. I fell in love with the product. Number two, Shipt is amazing, and it's a great income opportunity. It's a great part-time job. It's a great full-time job. There are no benefits to that, though. There's no insurance. There's no 401k. There's none of that. Now, I'm lucky that my spouse carries insurance through UPS, and we have excellent coverage, so I don't have to worry about things like that. But if that's not your situation, then you're going to find a significant amount of your Shipt income going towards insurance and things like that. So something that you want to consider. But what I find is that there are really great Shipt weeks, and then there are really slow Shipt weeks, and so it's a pattern, and so you really kind of have to budget yourself. And now that all depends on where you work in your zone and what hours you work and things like that. I work mommy hours when my kids are at school, sometimes on the weekend, occasionally on the evening, but usually mommy hours. So it's not always a plethora of orders out there for me. So what I found was that I was having to add hours to meet that weekly goal that I had set for myself monetarily. But, and that's not a bad thing. I'm still not working any more hours, but I'm setting aside more hours. Does that make sense? So that's just a particular thing for my area, not Shipt wide specific. So I figured out really quickly, not really quickly, but I figured out over time, I guess, that, the Shipt income is my now money, take care of this money. It takes care of my children's extracurriculars and lunch money, school fees, things like that. If we want to go on a vacation, I'm usually able to use some of that money to put towards the vacation. I was able to pay off a car loan very quickly. We had a $4,000 loan on a car. We're not car note people. We don't like them. So I paid that $4,000 off without hitting our personal budget or the rest of my Shipt budget and where that money goes in 4 months, just by adding a few hours every week to my schedule. So there's lots of flexibility there and potential to make as much money as you need to within, of course, the parameters of the job. But what happens then when someone gets sick? When you break a leg, break an arm, have surgery, have a baby, all of those things, your Shipt income stops. It halts. You can't make money with Shipt if you're just sitting down at home, or if you're nursing a sick child, or caring for an elderly parent, or you have a death in the family and you obviously want to give all of your attention to that family, and Shipt blessedly gives us that flexibility and the capability of just not showing up to work. We can just not go. We don't get on the schedule and we don't go. So that flexibility for me has been absolutely priceless. And to say that the relationships that I have formed with my customers and fellow shoppers are priceless would be the understatement of the year, but I'm not going to go too far into that. But my people who may be watching this know who you are and how very dearly I treasure you. I'm also not young. I know I look so young, right? You can laugh. It's okay. I'm not young. And so though some people can do 15 or 20 orders a day, I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. I physically cannot do it. Once I hit 6, 7, maybe 8 orders, I'm tired, I'm beat, I'm worn out, and I want to go home and go to bed and sleep for 2 days. Okay, so I have learned that I have to pace myself, and I'm going to get into another reason for that later, but it doesn't apply here. I've learned that I have to pace myself, and so there is a limit to how much I'm going to make with Shipt because of my physical condition and my family parameters. Does that make sense? Okay, so Little Rose fills in that gap of when I can't work, or because I've been at this less than a year, and I just in the past 3 or 4 months, I guess, I'm seeing the profit roll in where I'm not just literally reinvesting every penny that I make from the company, which is very generous, but I do events and shows, and so there are inventory purchases and supplies and things like that. So Lila Rose, of course, is, we get incentives. So I have literally all of the, like this was free. So I have several banners. There's a couple behind there hanging, 3 actually, 3 large banners behind there. I didn't pay for one of those, not even one of them. I have several other marketing supplies that they gave me. The only thing that I have purchased as far as branded marketing supplies are a few brochures and business cards and receipt books, but even those have been gifted to me as well. So from Little Rose for incentives or contests and things like that. So, but what I see is over time, and as I build my customer base, the residual and passive income is ongoing whether I'm there or not, because guess what? I can schedule, like today, this is my 4th video. I haven't posted any of them yet, but this is the 4th video that I've made today, and I started like 45 minutes ago, maybe an hour, I don't know, but and over the next few days I'll get them edited and clipped down and put a graphic with them and throw them up on YouTube. Now I will schedule those out over time, and I will also schedule some of them to show on my Facebook and Instagram pages. So the point there, again, residual and passive income. So I'm not having to actually leave the house. So if my kids are sick, they're sleeping, they're tired, they're fine, they're watching TV, I can spend, half an hour working on pictures or graphics, or texting customers and saying, hey, did you see this new style? Or send emails out, or prep my monthly newsletter or bi-weekly, whatever. I don't know, I do it whenever I feel like it. But there's lots of little work things that I can do when I'm at home. So I can spend 0 minutes on it today, or I can spend 5 or 6 hours on it today. I usually spend maybe 5 or 10 hours a week working on it, but y'all, I get ideas in my head and then I just kind of run with them. So I probably do a little more than most people do that do this kind of part-time, but I like it and I love it, and I love what it does for my hair. And look, guys, hey, Shipt shoppers, there's pineapples. There's like a whole collection of pineapple stuff. How cool is that? So of course I bought these right away at a beautiful discount, of course. But these things hold in my hair all day long, and I love them. And look, it's not pulling my hair out. All right, sales pitch over. So 3rd reason. So the thing is that there's going to come an age. Going back. We're still on the 2nd reason. Going back. There's a limit to how long I'm going to be able to Shipt. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm fixing to be cut off of the YouTube limit, so I'm going to stop here and pick up in a minute. All right? Okay, going back to that 2nd reason. Y'all, I'm not going to be able to Shipt forever. I don't have a retirement plan. My husband does with UPS, so that means I do too, but there's no retirement plan with UPS. I mean, sorry. Yes, there's a retirement plan with UPS. There's no retirement plan with Shipt. When my body reaches that age that it says no more, guess what? My income is going to stop with Shipt or cut back drastically. So maybe I can do, a few orders a week, or one order a week, or one order a day, or something like that. Pick up small orders out of Metro, but I'm not ever going to be able to make what I can now and what some of you who are much younger than me can make in a day now. It's never going to happen because I know my limits. I know the reality is that once I stop Shipt because I have to, the money stops. That's it. So what are you doing to plan for the after? Some of you are in school and have full-time jobs and careers going, and yay, that's awesome. I actually left my career many, many years ago. If you want to hear about that, I can. I loved my career, but I'm not that person that can give so much personally to that. I was a teacher, to that, and to my family. So my husband and I made a decision for me to stay home, but then I get bored and I need something to do. And then along came Shipt, and then Lila Rose, and here I am. So Lila Rose is kind of my transition into the future. And if I start now, then I have a big team by the time I'm ready to retire and be done. And then I have passive income coming in from my team members, and all I have to do is continue to support and encourage and help them and train them and keep up with my training. And that's all stuff that I can do from home. If I don't want to do the shows anymore, I don't have to. If I don't want to send emails to my customers anymore, I don't have to, but I probably will, because that's, again, easy, something you can do from home. But so number 3 reason. All right, guys, this is the tough one that I have sat on for so long because I don't like talking about this kind of stuff publicly. I don't think it's anybody's business. But maybe it matters to somebody. Maybe it'll encourage somebody. Maybe it'll help somebody. I don't know. So forgive me if I pause and break up. We have a chiropractor who I have known since I was a small child. I actually went to his office as a toddler and sat in his floor while my mother visited the chiropractor. So that's how long he's known me and my body and my health. And gosh, the guy probably knows more about me than I do. He's been a very stable and steady part of my life. It's kind of one of the benefits of growing up in the same area. See, I'm going to start crying already. So 2 or 3 years ago, he started, when I would have my adjustments, I have a very long neck, so I get my neck cracked a lot. I also have migraines, so he helps me with that, to reduce them. And sometimes when I have a migraine, he'll come crack it out, but it's still there. But I do get a tremendous amount of relief when he cracks my neck. But I digress. I'm going to do that a lot. This may be another whole 15-minute video. So he started throwing out this big word, and all I knew is that I was tired and hurting and in pain, and I thought, do I need to cut back on the carbs? Do I need to exercise more? But I also knew that I had been through a lot of personal stuff, nothing bad to me personally, but at 35, I had my 3rd child, and she was wonderful. She is wonderful. It was a totally healthy, perfect, beautiful pregnancy in the middle of summer. Her birthday is September 1st, so yay! It was really hot that summer. My aunt got sick, and I'm not going to go into that because that's not my business to share. But basically spent a lot of time on that with her and my mother. She doesn't have any children, so basically I'm her surrogate daughter and the person called on to assist my mother with her care. There was a lot of time towards the end of that pregnancy spent visiting hospitals and traveling, and because there's other family out of town about 4 hours from here that helped us to care for her, and she got sick when she was with them, and not being there was not really an option. So I guess the point is that the end of that pregnancy was very hard, and anybody that's ever been pregnant, let's just say that it was my third, and I was old and puffy and swollen and miserable and pretty much wore the same dress all week. I threw it in the washing machine about once or twice a week and changed my tank top and ran with it. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody else just go ahead and judge. I don't care. But it's the only thing that fit. It's the only thing that was comfortable with as little layers as possible because it was so hot. It was a nice, comfortable maxi dress from Target, if you're wondering. It was really cute too. But so that to say, after that pregnancy, I noticed a lot of changes in my body, and I assumed that most of those were just natural, normal changes. But it's almost like that pregnancy, and I don't know that it has anything to do with my aunt, but I throw that in to say that, you know, I know that traumatic occurrences can affect our bodies in strange ways, and I know that childbirth can affect our bodies in different ways, and so I felt like everything that was happening to me was like I blamed her. Not that I was mad at her, but I'm like, I was fine until Molly came. But and then age, and I'm really not that old, guys, but then the chiropractor started throwing around fibromyalgia, and I was like, well, I don't have that. But then things just kind of progressively got worse. The pain got more constant and more steady. The days where I literally didn't want to get out of bed became more frequent. Of course I did, because children, depression became a very real part of my life. And without getting too far into that, this was quite a long journey of just kind of trying to accept things and move on with them. But anyway, he kept saying that word, and I kept telling him it was crazy. My doctor retired, and again, this was a physician, not the chiropractor. He's still around. He still sees me, and but my family doctor retired. He also knew my entire family history, and was always very easy to work with and helpful to me. And I have 3 children and a husband that worked a lot, and so finding a new doctor is a chore. It's exhausting. It's draining. I'm a big proponent of natural remedies, and, you know, changing your diet or changing environmental factors, using essential oils and things like that. I love also modern medicine, so I'm kind of a mix of the two, but I don't like somebody to just give me a pill and say, here, this will fix it. And my doctor that retired didn't do that. He did when it was necessary. He gave me a prescription, but not alone, or not just because that's what works. But so finding a doctor that will work with you is very challenging. I still have not found one. I have a doctor now that I can get my prescriptions from. He confirmed the fibromyalgia diagnosis, and now basically writes me prescriptions. Yay, helpful, right? But never really spent the time talking with me about how to manage everything else that goes with fibromyalgia. So there's been a lot of research on my part, and landed at an amazing Vanderbilt center. It's the Osher Center. If you ever are interested, I'd be glad to talk to you about it. I've only had one visit there, and I'm in love already, and I have more visits coming up. But they are going to be helping me with lifestyle changes and support and information and encouragement that doesn't come from Google, and realistic things that I can do personally. But the thing is, if you don't know anything about fibromyalgia, there's this term that's used a lot called flares, and a flare day is a really bad day, and the thing is that we can cause and create flares by overdoing it. Shipt shoppers, do you hear me? overdoing it. That's what we do. Go, 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 right? So I was basically making it worse by going on when I felt good, and then I would just crash. And for days, I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do anything. I could barely get dinner on the table if I even did that. I didn't understand it. My husband didn't understand it. He's frustrated. Nobody knows what's going on. He's awesome. He's fine. We are fine. So please don't misread into thinking that there's a marital problem. But when things just kind of stop happening and nobody knows why, it's very confusing and frustrating, because I'm that person that just does the things that need to be done. So I have to now, I've found over the last year or so that I have to, and this was before going to the Osher Center, you kind of figure things out for yourself, that I have to pace myself and not generate more flare days than necessary. There's gonna be flare days, but I don't have to make them worse, and I don't have to make them more frequent. I can make them more manageable and doable and tolerable. Today's a great day, so I'm home doing videos. I'm not out doing shopping and wearing myself out, because, well, this is the first weekend we've had off in a while, and as a family, totally. So I'm looking forward to that, and I don't want to wear myself out and be sitting on the couch or in the bed all weekend. So I had to find something also to replace that income, and so I was kind of already looking around for less strenuous jobs. Not that shifting is all that strenuous, but when you have fibromyalgia, it is. Okay, so again, I pace myself and I do the things that I do. So those of you that are Shipt shoppers that have managed to make it through this entire video, if I seem flaky or unresponsive or kind of disappear for a couple of days or don't respond to your messages in a timely manner, that's the reason why. So there's also brain fog component with fibromyalgia, and sometimes I choose to hold off on answering to make sure that I'm thinking clearly, or maybe I'm just having a really bad day and I need to rest and not do anything. So I see you and I hear you, and I'm doing everything that I can. So there is, in short, 30 minutes, my why Lila Rose, why Shipt together. Will I ever quit one of them? Probably not. You know why? Because I love them both. I love the challenges. I love the excitement. I love the customers. I love the hair, because hair is fun. I'm like reliving my youth, getting to play with my hair and learn to do things, because I didn't really do a lot of that when I was younger. So, yeah, I had the big mall hair, but that's about it. So anywho, thanks for hanging in and watching the whole thing. If you actually did, you're awesome. And if you have questions, please ask. I will not be bringing up the health issues again. They will be here, and that's it. But if you have questions about that or want to know more about it, I'd be glad to help you. But I'm not going to be publicly discussing that, because it's not a part of, it is a part of who I am, but it's not, I don't like to use it as an excuse for not doing things. I like to use it as a challenge and a way, or something to find ways to work around and work with, because it's not going away and it's not going to change. And that's it. All right. Bye.